So, welcome, my dear friends. Now, I would like to invite today's eminent keynote speaker, resource person, my beloved brother, Dr. D Nagaraju Garu, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Government City College, Autonomous, Hyderabad. Nagaraj sir has huge experience. He is very huge experience in the microbiology, especially sir has given an eminent sir has an eminent speaker, eminent resource person. He has attended many seminars and presented many papers, national, international, and also sir has written Telugu Academy books related to our plant physiology, environmental science, and also the degree first year, first semester and second semester book is written by our Dr. D Nagaraju Garu, Telugu Academy books also. So he is a good keynote speaker, good speaker and author of different books of area in the microbiology. So Dr. D Nagaraju Garu, hearty welcome and share your screen and start the session.
You please give the scale.
Yeah, I have given to you, sir.
No, not that one. Other one is there now with the computer. That one you have to.
Okay, you can.
You see one more other one is there. Where it is. You check once. If other one is there now, the system.
Yes, yes, I have given. Please, once you check it.
Okay, okay, I will check it. Yeah.
Yes, yes, it's the screen is visible. It is screen sharing now.
Okay, where it is actually. It is being stuck. Just a second. Actually, I have no headphones here. Okay. Very good morning, good afternoon to all. And thank you, Padala Tirupati sir and organizing team for giving opportunity to expose to young and aspirants of the botany. We are very much thankful to the organizers, team, Government Degree College for Women, Jagichal, Karimnagar, and SRR, and RVBR Women's College. I'm privileged to deliver the talk for your entrance, PG entrance, CUET and CPGET purposes for your further educations, even for BEd and Central University PGs, PG Plant Sciences Biotechnology, and in all our Telangana universities PG entrances. Now, as one of the topic in the microbiology, in the general basic microbial diversity, today we are going to discuss, elaborate the important aspects of the topic is lichens. As you know, all of you, the lichens are the symbiotic association. Not only the single organism it is a symbiotic organism. You know, in the so many exams, it asks us lichens are what? It is a single organism or symbiotic organism. What it is as a parasite? What it is? Usually, it is a symbiotic organism. You know, what are the symbionts in the lichens? The question raised like that: what are the symbionts? What are the organisms? What are the components in the lichens? Anybody can? You have an idea of it?
Algae, fungi. Look at it.
Algae and fungi together.
Fungi.
What we call it as algal partner is also one of the question, important question. The lichen algal partner is called as
Phycobiont.
One is boss and another one is the labor.
what relationship is called as? What we call it that relationship? You said one is the labor, other is the what we call that relationship? Name it. Do you have an idea? What is that? Helotism. You know the helotism. King and slavery relationship. You know, before that, one is the best mechanism, best symbiont is idealistic marriage between the algae and fungi. It's an idealistic marriage. It as like a wife and husband. You know, who said the lichens are the lichens having the idealistic relationship? Do you have an idea? Who? Swedner, Swedish scientist. Swedner said that in the dual nature of the lichens, this is showing the idealistic relation, idealistic marriage, as like a marriage. So the algae, the and utilizing and giving the space to the algae to survive. There is a mutual understanding, mutual association between the algae and fungi. You know, the lichen word came from, that also one important question. Lichen's word came from which word? It is there. Lichen's word came from. Lichen's word. From it. Where? It is there here already, you see. Could you able to see the screen?
Leprous.
Sir, if possible, please you zoom it, sir.
Zoom. Is it possible? I think
Okay,
it is
sir.
in
Okay,
the word.
okay, sir.
It is more in the system word.
Okay, sir, please you proceed.
Is it possible or not? Okay. Huh?
It's derived from the Greek for
See here,
leprous.
from the leprous. From the leprous word. Lichen word derived from the leprous. You know the leprous disease? The Theophrastus. You know the meaning of the lichens? Lichens means in the Sanskrit, Sailaja. You know the English, what is the English meaning of the lichens? What we call it as? Stone flowers. Where it grows? Usually where it grows? Stone flowers. It grown on the flower. You know the lichens are the natural farmers. Which among is the natural farmers? Like that they ask the question. Lichen, algae, fungi, bacteria. Like that they ask the question. Lichens are the natural farmers. You know, it melt the stone and convert into soil. From the stone to soil. As like a farmers, it melt, it make it readily available for the germination of the or growing of the other plants. That's why we call it as natural farmers. The natural farmer stone flowers. In our Telugu, we call it as Rati Puvu, Pattarka Pool. You know the Pattarka Pool we use in the biryani for the taste. For the taste, we use the Pattarka Pool in the supermarket. In almost all the markets, we can find it out. With the lichens, we get the full tasty, spicy, very stringent, very fragrant smell will come. And also very tasty and also easy to digest. That we use in our biryani. Whatever it is, the biryani, chicken, veg, mutton biryani. That Pattarka Pool. You know, who is the father of lichens? You know, what is the lichenology? What does it mean, the lichenology? Lichenology. Lichenology. Anybody? Lichenology is the study of lichens. Lichenology is the study of lichens. Who is the father of lichenology? Who is the father of lichenology? Huh? Are you there? Are you there? Are you listening or not? All of you, are you there? Who is the father of lichenology? Erik Acharius. Yes, Erik Acharius is the Swedish botanist, is the father of lichenology. He first studied about the morphology, identification characters of this lichens. You know, you can see here the lichen. He has written so many books about the lichens. Has done the plenty of the research on the lichens. That one of these books are Lichenographis Prodrens and Methodus Lichenus and Lichenographia Universalis and Synopsis Methodica Lichenum. These are very useful for the fundamental studies of the lichens. You know, lichens shows the dual nature. It shows the dual nature. That means it having the two organisms. It having the two organisms. It having the two natures. One is the symbiotic. That means one is the as a producers. Other one as a what it is, as a symbiont, as a parasite. Two type of the natures it having based upon the food source. Okay, you know the fungi which are associated with the lichens is called as, in the competitive exam they ask, fungi which are associated with the lichens are called as, what are those? Microbiome. Ravinderji, you are unmute, mute. So you are speaking, but your voice is not. Okay. Symbiotic association. In the symbiont, the fungi which are associated in the lichen symbionts are called as, what it is? What it is? Microbiome. What it is? The microbiomes. Mics. You know the mics. Micro means mic. Mic means not hello mic. Loudspeaker mic. Huh? Mics means molds, mushrooms, molds. You know, you might have find the molds here and there on the wastage, spoilage food material, and the wastage food material on bread or on vegetables or on fruits, spoiled fruits. Those all are molds, white color or black color. You know the bread mold, black mold, pin mold. blue molds. You know, the black mold, mucormycosis. Also, we face so much of the problem with the mucormycosis also. Mucor. Corona affected people also get affected with the mucor. The molds are mushrooms which are associated with the algae in the symbiotic association of the lichens are called as mycobiont. Mycobiont. Usually, which group of the organisms are associated? Does all the fungi are associated? Does all the group of the fungi are associated with the lichens? The most important question here. Which group of the fungi is not associated? Yeah, Phycomycetes, not only the Phycomycetes. What are those? Especially Ascomycotina and Basidiomycotina fungi are associated in the lichens. Till now, there is no association we find it out of the Mastigomycotina and Zygomycotina fungi in the lichens. It's the most important question. Mastigomycotina and Zygomycotina fungi not yet found as an association in the lichens. Mastigomycotina and Zygomycetes fungi are not yet found in the association of the lichens. The most important. Okay, these are the very more important questions in the competitive exam point of view. I am telling. So you have to take care. You have to be alert to catch the points. It is not the theoretical class. It is for the competitive exam. So you be careful. You be understood. You be active in all the way, so that you can understand what type of the question, how you can answer the question easily. Okay. What group of the fungi not associated with the lichens? You answer. I already told you. Mastigomycotina and anybody. You have to be active, not in passive. Okay. Then other partner. What it is? Algae. If algae which are associated with the lichens, that we call it as? What we call it as? Phycobiont. Phycobiont. In the lichens association, phycobiont is algae, fungi, bacteria, virus. Which one? Which is the correct answer? Phycobiont is algae, fungi, bacteria, virus. Which one? Algae. That we also call it as photobiont. Photobiont, which perform the photosynthesis, which produce their own food material. Photobionts. Photobionts. Okay. Photobionts are phycobiont. Photobionts are phycobionts. Okay. And is which group of the algae are majorly associated in the lichens? Which group of the algae are majorly associated? Can anybody? Which group of algae? Especially Chlorophyceae and Xanthophyceae. Very few Phaeophyceae algae are associated. Majorly Chlorophyceae, Cyanophyceae, you know the cyanobacteria, Cyanophyceae, and Xanthophyceae, yellow, green algae, brown algae. These are majorly associated with the lichens. So that is most important. Which group of fungi are mostly associated in the lichens? Which group? Chlorophyceae, Xanthophyceae, Cyanophyceae, and one more, Pheophyceae. You know, one more important question here is, which organism is very dominant in the lichen forming, the lichens? Which one? That also one a major question. You see here, Treboxia. Treboxia is the most common genus in the green algae that are associated in the lichens. The competitive exam they ask what it is. Treboxia, the most common genus of the green algae associated in the lichens in the highest level. Above 40% of the lichens are associated with the Treboxia lichen, Treboxia algae. You know the which among is the highest associated Cyanophyceae? The Chlorophyceae is Treboxia, and Cyanophyceae, you know, you have any idea? That is the common algae, Cyanophyceae. Nostoc. Nostoc is the highest associated Cyanophyceae fungi in the lichens. Nostoc is the highest associated Cyanophyceae, cyanobacteria, and Treboxia is the highest 40% above, in the 40% above the lichens. Treboxia, green algae, is associated. Okay. And then we will remove. Okay. Then we will go for the next. One of the mystery you might know or no, don't know. It is there in already the academy book, which are written long back. You know, the lichens are not only the dual nature, it having not only the dual nature, it having the Trinity. 3 partners are there, not the 2 partners. We are missing the 3rd partner while growing, while cultivating. That's why we could not able to grow the lichens artificially. That is the reason behind it. You know that Trinity, because of the Trinity, what are those? Trinity means 3 partners, not the 2 partners. Which is that? Do you have any idea? One of the common person, Toby Spribille, associated with the McCutcheon, find it out, unveiled the hidden story. Is that? Okay. Unveiled that story with a common person, Toby Spribille. After 150 years of the discovery of the lichens, he got know the 3rd association also is there in the lichens by doing the experiments in the Bryonia lichen. In the Bryonia lichen with the different stains. With the different stains, they have found it out not the 2, 3 associates are there. Usually in the stain, the fungi which shows the red stain and the algae which shows the green stain. But other stain also they have found it out. With that other stain, they could able to know other type of the Basidiomycetes yeast. Yeasts are there. Because of that yeast, they could able to grow in any environmental condition, even in the dry condition. That is the Basidiomycetes yeast along with the algae and other fungi. That means 2 fungi, 1 algae. 2 fungi and one algae are there in the association of the lichens. One more thing, the lichens fossils also we could able to find 2200 million years back. Fossilized lichens also we could able to find. That especially Discogma. That is a fossilized lichen which we found. You know the growth rate of the lichens, that also so many times that question arises in the competitive exams. Growth rate of the lichens 0.5 mm to 0.5 m. The slowest is 0.5 millimeter, not for day, not for month, for year. For year, it will grow only 0.5 millimicrons only. That is the slowest growth rate. Very slow growth rate is there in the lichens. You know the very slow growth rate organisms in the plants, living biota, as like a snail, how it goes slow, very slow. You know, like here, the slowest growth rate organisms are algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, angiosperms. Which one? Which plant is having the slowest growth rate? Are you listening? Lichens, that you have to remember. While I am telling the lichen chapter here, you could be able to. Otherwise, other time also you have to make it note. Okay. Lichens. Okay. Lichens are the having the very slowest growth rate. Okay. That also very important question. It is growth rate also they asked in the 4 multiple choice 0.5 mm, 0.5 centimeter, 0.5 meter, or 0.5 m per month or per year, like that they ask the question. You have to remember this point very keenly, very neatly you have to observe, that is 0.5 mm per year. The growth rate is 0.5 millimicrons per year. So it is the very slowest growth rate is there among all the living organisms. Okay. That is also most important question. Which organism, which among is having the slowest growth rate? The lichen growth rate is 0.5 mm, 0.5 cm, 0.5 m. Like that they ask the question. Okay. You know the nutrition, as it's symbionts, what type of the nutrition habit it having? What type? In the symbiont, it shows the heterotropic nutrition. Which are the heterotrophs? Which are the autotrophs in the lichens? In the lichen symbios, which are autotrophs, which are heterotrophs? Huh? Fungi are heterotrophs, algae are autotrophs. You know the algae perform the photosynthesis and produce their own food material. Fungi depend on the algae for their own food material. Okay. And you know the most of the algae produce the glucose, but Traboxia it produces the rhabitol starch. Rhabitol starch food material which synthesize. I already told you Traboxia is a 40% among the algae. 40% of the algae are associated with the Traboxia that produces the rhabitol starch. Okay. You know the cyanophycean members, if it's there, cyanophycean algae, what it do along with the photosynthesis, what it do extra? What it perform? Cyanophycean. Cyanobacteria, what it perform extra? That's why we call it as biofertilizers. Why we are calling it as a biofertilizer? Cyanophycean, cyanobacteria. Why? It absorbs the atmospheric nitrogen and it convert into which one? Ammonia, nitrates. Does all the plants absorb the atmospheric nitrogen? No plants will absorb the atmospheric nitrogen. Only microbes, bacteria and algae and some fungi only absorb the atmospheric nitrogen. Convert the 78% of the nitrogen, we make no use of it. But because of these microbes only we could able to get the nitrogen resources as an ammonia and nitrites, which we are having as a proteins in our body. The proteins in our body, that is because of the microbes, some of the algae, fungi, bacteria. Okay. And then more based upon the occurrence, the Lucknow, you know, the National Botanical Garden. You know the National Botanical Research Institute, where it is? Where the National Botanical Research Institute? Don't you know? Lucknow, National Botanical Research Institute, where the largest herbarium is there in our India. That is also Lucknow. He has written Handbook of Lichens, the Compendium of Microlichens from India, Nepal and Sri Lanka. Endemic lichens of India also has written. You should remember D Awasti is the father of Indian lichenology. Erik Acharius is the father of lichenology. Okay, and Swedner said about the dual nature of the lichens, and Spribille and McCutcheon unveiled the hidden thing of the lichens. The lichens are not the two organisms association. It is the association of three. Okay, these are the most important questions in the examination point of view. You know, based upon the nature of association, lichens are categorized into three. It shows parasitic association, symbiotic association, and helotism type of the association. You know, majorly these all are symbiont, but we feel it as helotism, master and slavery relationship, king and slavery, master and slavery relationship. Why the fungi? It totally depend on algae for their food sources. Algae, it produce the food material only. They have no chance to regenerate their own generation also. They lost their reproductive capacity. They only further as a slaver to produce, to arrange the food material to the fungi. But fungi giving the shelter to the algae, even to grow on the bare rocks, dry areas. Because of giving the shelter is giving the food and all the sources, and only fungi will reproduce Fungi only take the reproduction. Not algae is taking the reproduction. Not algae is generating their own generation, next generation. Only fungi is performing the reproduction, and it produce their next generation. That's why this type of the symbiotic association, we call it as what it is. We call it as what it is. Helotism. What it is? Helotism. This type of the symbiotism, we call it as helotism. Could you able to see this? This type of the symbiotic master slavery mechanism, master slavery relationship. Okay. And then based upon the morphology also, lichens are divided now. You know, the crustose lichens, folios, fruticose. You might have studied these three only, but so many are there. Squamulose, leprose, filamentous, gelatinous, bassoid, lichen with no visible. So many are there. You see the various type of the lichen. Crustose lichens, which have the very thin layer, filmy layer, which form the very thin filmy layer upon the rocks. We can't separate that lichens from the rock, bare rocks. Very thin layer. The first foremost living organism upon the rocks, bare rocks, the mountains. Because of this, because of this lichens only, we could able to see the grasses, herbs, crops, trees, even in the mountains, hills. Otherwise, mountains always be with the bare rocks only, if there is no lichens. Do you know it? You never think of it. Just you see it, that's it. Huh? Because of the lichens only, the hill forests, mountain forest is being formed. That area first occupied by the lichens. You know, zero seed succession, ecological successions, hydroseed, zero seed successions. We start from the bare rocks and it melt the rocks centimeters width, so that it occupied the other lichens, folios, fruticose lichens, and then it occupied by the mosses, bryophytes, and then it will be available for the growth of the grasses, herbs, and then ultimately it will be make available for the growth of the trees, forests. Otherwise, hills, mountains will be with the bare rocks only. We are doing enjoy by seeing the green nature in the hills and mountains. That's because of the lichens, because of the natural farmers. Okay. You know, the folios lichens, it's a leaf-like lobes. It having the leaf-like lobes and interlobes. You know, the one of the folios lichen, Familia feltigera, we call it as dog lichens that we use for the hydrophobia, rabies, hydrophobia. And fruticose lichens, somewhat thick and branched, pendant branched structures. And next is squamulose lichens, which having the mossy tubes, overlapping scales and tubes like structure. You know, the leprose lichens, the lichen word came from the leprose. I already told you. The granular powdery moss structure upon the rocks. The granular powdery moss structure upon the rocks. You see the pictures here. The crustose lichens are like this, very thin layer upon the rocks. You see the foliose lichens like a leaves upon the rocks. You see the fruticose lichens as a branches, tubes, branches like structure upon the rocks that are fruticose lichens. And you can see the leprose lichens, folded structures upon the rocks as like a leprosy symptoms that are leprous lichens and gelatinous lichens. You might have seen gelatinous gummy sticky structure upon the bark and dry wood trunks. The sticky blackish gum structures lichens are called as gelatinous lichens. And you know the squamulose lichens, feathery tubular structures. And filamentous lichens, filaments as like a fungi, as like a fungal filaments, which will be like a hypae, mycelium like structure, filament like structures that are called as filamentous lichens. You see, as I told you, here and there as a patches, lichens here and there as a patches, not at all overlapped with the rocks, here and there as a spots, that no visible thallus, lichens with no visible thallus, only fruiting bodies, no visible thallus. These are the various type of the lichen based upon their morphology. Okay, these also come from this also question will rise. And one more important question based upon the internal structure of the lichens, two types are there, homoimerous and heteroimerous. You know the means difference between the homoimerous and heteroimerous? Anybody? You can easily distinguish different equal space. You see, the filamentous structures are called as fungi and the sporulous like structures are algae. These two equally occupy the space in the lichens that are called as nobody. Are you listening or sleeping? How many are there? About 28. Homoimerous. Equal. Homo means equal. Hetero means different. Homo means to equal and hetero means unequal. Here you see the most of the space occupied by the fungi filament and only limited space. You see here only limited space, this much of the space only occupied by the algae, algal layer. That means algal layer limited to only little small part. The remaining all the part is the fungi filled with the fungi filaments, mycelium, fungi hypae, fungi mycelium, thallus, upper cortex, inner cortex. In between that medulla, in the medulla, small part occupied by the algae. These are the four layers which occupies in the lichens. A majority part is occupied by the fungi, that is heteroimerous. Okay. These are the two types based upon their association in the internal structure of the lichens. Okay. And you know, from this also question raised from the special structures associated in the thallus. What are those special structures? Fruiting bodies, reproductive structure, vegetative structures, other than the normal plant, which having the extra special structures that are apothecium. You can see here. What it is, where, what happened? Okay. Apothecium, you can see here the porous space in the lichen thallus. The porous space, empty space. In the empty space like structure, it occupying the covering seed with the lichen body, that is called as apothecium. Okay. And then here you can see the various type: Isidium,